We're here in Amsterdam at the Blockchain Expo, and we're here with Bitguild. Very interesting project. Sean, nice meeting you again.
Yep.
How are you doing?
Doing good. It's a beautiful day today. It's been a great conference, and I'm glad to be here doing this interview.
How did the talk going? Actually, you were one of the speakers today.
Yeah, so we had a panel yesterday. A lot of good stuff. Talked about media in general and the place of games within it, especially how that relates to blockchain. And then today we had, I did a speech on Bitguild, what are blockchain games, and how they will revolutionize the gaming industry. And I think it went pretty well. A lot of people showed up, and we had a really good Q&A. So I think people were really engaged.
And how can it revolutionize the gaming industry? You know best.
Things that I talked about today, there was two aspects. One is interoperability of tokenized assets. So for our listeners, in games, some game developers in blockchain gaming, they, instead of putting the game items and characters within the game itself, they tokenize them, which means that when a player acquires it through purchasing or finding it in the game, it actually goes to the player's wallet. And that's very different than traditional games where items and characters exist within the games themselves. And so once an item exists on a player's wallet, that player is then free to do as they want with that item. Like they can sell it, they can just keep it for however long they want to, they can trade it for another item from another player. And so that's very different than traditional games. And eventually what we hope to see is these items, once they exist in a player's wallet, the player will be free to take that item, not only use it in the original game itself, but in other gaming experiences. And so that's a very revolutionary concept. We're still a little far away from it, to be completely honest, but with blockchain technology, it's something that is actually possible.
And how long does it take actually to be reality? I mean, to change these items between games. Yeah. I mean, what does it take? A lot of blockchain development? I mean,
sure. So it takes several things. One, it takes the main blockchain technology to catch up, to reach a certain level where issues that are addressing or that are faced by blockchain game companies today, such as high transaction costs and slow transaction throughput, if those issues get addressed by next generation blockchain companies, then we'll actually have the technological underpinnings needed to make it happen. Then you have to have buy-in from developers. So on the content side, you have to have developers that are willing to let their assets be used in a number of different gaming experiences. So, for example, if I create a sword for my game, I then can have to go on the internet and create a license basically to any other developer that wants to use that sword and say, you're free to use my sword in your game. So you have to have developers on the content creation side buy into it. And then you have to have developers that are making game experiences. They have to reference those game assets in their game. So it's still a long ways away. But the good news is there's a lot of companies looking at the problem right now. Well, the concept. There's a lot of smart minds trying to collaborate and move things forward. And we're going to see some standards and kind of solutions very soon in the future that help make this a reality.
Yeah, it does remind me a little bit about Creative Commons, like we know it in photos and other files. Is it comparable or open source?
Sure. So I'm not as familiar with like the specifics of Creative Commons, but I do know that I think there are some similarities. For example, Creative Commons, like you make something, you go up and you say, okay, anyone can use this. Same thing with tokens. You say, okay, I'm going to tokenize this asset. Here's its graphical representation. The token will exist in the player's wallet. And hey, any other developer that wants to use that graphical representation, here it is. You can reference the token in that wallet from the player, and then you can just pull that item to the game. So I imagine on a conceptual level, they're very similar.
All right. And for what kind of partnerships and clients are you looking for? How do we place Bitguild in this process? Actually?
Okay, so the kind of partners we're looking for are game companies that want to make fun games. Like that's the biggest kind of partnership. Blockchain games specifically. And the reason I say that is that a lot of blockchain games right now, they're very light on the gameplay. And to truly scale the blockchain gaming audience, I think we need to bring in more traditional gameplay elements into the blockchain games that we see.
Because CryptoKitties, of course, but it would be nice if these cats would be fighting each other.
Yeah, fighting each other, racing each other, maybe going on dating sims. I mean, yeah, once you bring these more traditional gameplay elements, I think the number of people that will want to participate in the gaming experience will grow. And that's what you really need to grow the blockchain gaming space right now.
So CryptoKitties go to a Japanese love hotel, for instance?
I mean, sure. If you're a game developer and you want to make that game experience, you could. I might not be the target demographic for that kind of game, but sure, conceptually that could be possible.
All right. So actually, more interesting games. I mean, we lack the actually what you have with Fortnite and other popular games. This kind of adventure. I mean.
Yeah. So I mean. There's actually a very vibrant community around the games that do exist right now. But I think some of the games in some manners are more targeting crypto enthusiasts or people that really like blockchain technology. And so what we want to slowly do is draw in a larger audience. You can kind of liken it back to the beginning of mobile phones. So in the beginning you had like a very core amount of, I don't know, I guess phone enthusiasts or tech nerds that really liked mobile phones. Then slowly it became more appealing to the mass audience. And hopefully blockchain technology games will be something similar. It starts off relatively core with the true believers and the people that really like crypto games, but then slowly we can make experiences that are more appealing to a larger audience and just grow the audience.
Yeah, I remember as a Nokia owner, you got this Snake. I mean, so can we compare Snake with CryptoKitties, or I mean, in the phase we're in?
I mean, they're both games, so there are some comparisons. I mean, companies like Axion Zen, the one company behind CryptoKitties, they've done an amazing job with their products. A lot of attention to detail. They've really focused on the community. I'm really impressed with what they're doing. So I think of Snake as a very basic product, and it was very similar to other products before it. CryptoKitties, in a lot of ways, while it did borrow from other concepts in the space, it was very innovative in a lot of ways, especially their breeding mechanism and kind of how much thought they put into the long-term longevity of the game. And so there's some similarities. They're both game experiences, but I think CryptoKitties, complexity-wise, is much more complex than, say, something like Snake. But they were also both on the forefront of those platforms at the time. So hopefully, just like Snake turned into Angry Birds, turned into Game of War, we'll see CryptoKitties turn into something bigger, and then something bigger than that.
All right.
Yeah.
And what do you need actually to grow as a company? I mean, you also need partnerships with developers, of course, independent developers.
Yeah, so we need two things. Again, really good gaming companies that are making interesting games using blockchain technology. We like innovative ideas that are pushing the industry forward. And we also need players. We need people that are interested in blockchain games. They're curious, crypto game curious. I'm not sure if that's a thing. But we want them to come to our platform, learn, and we're more than just games as well. We're a community, and we talk to our community a lot. We have over 30,000 followers and fans between our different social media channels, and we engage with them regularly, like 2 or 3 times a week. We'll write articles on Medium. We'll talk to them. We'll do surveys, and so you don't actually have to play the games. You just have to be curious, and you can find a lot in our platform and our social media channels.
Sounds good. And are you planning a token sale, or you're more of seed capital, or?
We finished our token sale actually. We started our token sale in March. Technically, we finished in April, and we actually launched our platform in May. So we've been going really fast. Token sale's done. We have over 12,000 Plat holders. Our token is called Plat. And we raised a fair amount of Ethereum worth of our token, and so there's a lot of players out there with our token that are looking for fun and interesting games to play in and to use that plat.
And actually, the token itself is also listed on the exchange. So will it be liquid?
So we're not supposed to talk about that. Technically, we're a utility token. But who knows what the future will hold? I'm confident that good things will happen. Yes. Let's just leave it at that.
All right. Thank you very much, Sean.
Awesome. Thanks, Wessel. Great.
And it
was a lot of fun.
Yes.